strong statement at 154. In my opinion, I think he's certainly in the top 3 in that division, and we're looking now to make a significant and big fight for him. I think he's ready to go, and we're working very hard for something to happen in the autumn, which will be, as I say, a significant fight. That's the direction we're going to go with.
Who are you looking at, Frank, particularly?
I'd like to go. I mean, if we could get Canelo to agree to it, then that's where I would like to go, because I really do think Liam has the beat in him. I think they're underestimating. I think Liam is a type of fighter. The better the fighter in front of him, the more you get out of him. From day one, I felt that he's an extraordinary talent, and I think that if he gets into a fight like that, I think you'll see something from a British fighter pulling off something really special. I really do think he's capable of winning that fight. Joe does a fantastic job in training him, in preparing him. And he's. If you look at Liam, he's very economical when he fights him. He throws punches. He was hitting with body shots, letting them go. What were they like? Less than 9 inches, and just catching the fella and hurting him underneath. I think Liam's a difficult fighter to beat. I think he's got a good boxing brain on him, and I feel that a Canelo, if we can make a Canelo fight, I think we'd grab it. I would grab it with both hands, and I'm sure he would do that.
You ready for Sal? For you?
Yeah, I said I'd love that fight. I love any of the names mentioned, and all the names. It's hard to really pick one because all the names mentioned. As I said before, I'd fight tomorrow. I'd bite your hand off for any one of them fights. Not one of them fights I'd say no to. So hopefully one of them names can be made, and then the fight's on, because it won't be stopped on my part.
Given how much you kind of looked up to somebody like Cotto, though, is that one that almost has more appeal for you if he was to?
He's not.
No, but I think you've seen from past things. He's like a bit of a San Ferdinand to deal with. You know what I mean? It's all on his terms. Everything's he fights when he wants, and it's probably a good thing. But it's probably hard to deal and hard to make a fight. But I think realistically, even though he's Canelo's at the top of the game now, that's probably an easier fight to make by all accounts. He's with Golden Boy, and probably easier to make. But I think personally, I don't know. Obviously, Frank come on more.
Cotto's with BoxNation, and I was talking to Dino Duva, and we thought at one stage we made the fight, but Cotto, from what I was being told, wants such ridiculous money. And that's why he's inactive. There's nothing happening. I mean, when was the last time he fought? Must be
it was Canelo.
Yeah. So he hasn't done anything since then, and that's where we are. But what Liam could do, I'm sure we could make him a couple of more fights fighting guys out the top 10, and I think he'd deal with most of them as he's dealt with this fella tonight. But I think he just needs to get to that next level, and if we can make that fight with Canelo, that is the next level. Or Cotto, that's the next level for him. And if he wins one of those fights, which he's capable of doing, then he's seriously in the game.
Comfortable going to America?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'd be going there confident, and I think a lot was made with me. I think can he go up size wise and stuff? There's going to be no question about that with me. I'm a big 154, and a lot made of Canelo getting in the ring at 180. I've said to a lot of people, if I wanted, I could get in the ring at 180. I don't, because I choose not to. But there wouldn't be much weight difference between us on the night. You know what I mean, size wise, and I'd be more than confident to hold me on over there, and to fight I'd love.
In that sense, Liam, we were there when that mayor fought him, and Canelo's just too big for him. It obviously wouldn't be that.
I was too big for him. I sparred him for that fight, and I was too big for him. So, I kind of knew it was going to happen, but it was always a case of if Amir could go to points, you know what I mean, and that was basically what everyone was waiting for. It was going to be that if Amir could get to points, then he'd do well, but if he was too small, then he weren't, and eventually he was too small.
But you said that's obviously not an issue for yourself to be two proper sized guys.
Yeah, I knew by physical stature that I was a lot bigger than Amir when I was in sparring with him, and I kind of knew knew the weight difference. That's why I said, you know, it'd be interesting to see if he goes back to 54 in me, because, you know, I know I was a lot bigger than him, obviously. Canelo's probably only a natural 154, he was a lot bigger than him, so he is only a 147, whereas, you know, I'd have to chop my leg off to make 147.
How much are you craving in that big fight in America, whether it be in Vegas or whether the whole
I
thing
just want
going
to prove
over
myself, mate, because, like, you know, I know social media is a daft thing, but, like, you know, for the people, you can't win really. You know, I'll probably get stick for tonight, and then tomorrow we'll announce I'm fighting Canelo, and I'll get stick for that. Tomorrow we'll fight, I'm fighting Cotto, and I'll get stick for that, saying, you know, I'll get wiped out and all that. It's just, you can't win with them, but, you know, I want a chance for one of them names to prove myself and open people's eyes.
And we we offered Kell Brooks 600 grand plus an upside to come and jump up a weight. He wasn't interested, and his title wouldn't have been on the line. He could have still gone back down to welterweight, but he didn't want to know. So it's not like we haven't been trying to make the fights fair. And the name of the game is to keep him busy. He had quite a busy year last year, didn't he?
Yeah,
It was his first fight this year that he's had, so he needs to keep him going.
Yeah, even now, I've had 6 months since the Jimmy Carter. I chose to have a rest. I could have fought on the bill in here, the Flanagan bill. Kind of backfired on me, because when I got out the ring, Frank offered me February, and I was going away the new year. So if I'd got out the ring after the Kelly fight, and he said March, I would have took March. But you know, when it got delayed, I still wouldn't have been ready. So, but I've had a good rest, and I've recharged the batteries properly. But if I fight this September, you know, I won the title October. If I fight September, I'll have won the title and I'll have 3 defences within the space of 12 months. I can't argue with that.
Right, just on the Canelo thing, are talks with Golden Boy active at the minute, or where?
No, there's I don't want to go into sort of that side of where we are with that, but the bottom line is, you know, I can't see Canelo fighting Golovkin. You know, it's not about money, it's all about weight. They want to make the fight at 155, and Golovkin is never going to get down to that weight, so it's a fight that will never get made. You know, at the moment, maybe down the road they may make it, but that should be, I hope, would be to our benefit, to Liam's benefit, and I hope that, you know, as I say, because he's got to fight for a title, hasn't he? He won't have a title.
What fight would
So
you
we
want?
will see.
What fight would you want, Joe?
Me?
Yeah.
Cotto. Canelo. But Cotto, he's #1 in the WBO now. Liam's champion. If he was mandatory made challenger for Liam, that's a great fight. I think Cotto was a brilliant scout for Liam, and then to go into Canelo after that. But listen, beggars can't be choosers at that level. Dave, were you ringside for Amir and Canelo? Well, you've seen both up close in the space of a month, 2 months. How do you see the fight of Canelo and Liam Smith going?
It's certainly a lot more interesting. The problem with Amir that night, it was just all about the power.
But Canelo, Liam Smith, style-wise,
Yeah, well,
I'm
that's
asking
what
you.
that would be much, because he's not fighting. It's almost like the big fella bullying the little
Would you give
guy.
Liam Smith a chance?
Yeah, definitely. Because Liam
There
Smith
you
could
go.
dig back at him, and that's what he'd be wary of. Because he knew with Amir couldn't hurt him. Amir was
That's
hitting him,
the difference.
but it was all out there.
Well,
wasn't it?
Amir's not a big puncher anyway at his
If he
natural
does those
weight.
body shots.
Yeah, but Cotto, Canelo, God, you're in the big league there, aren't you? Any of them. Mr. Mosley got beat, he's out of the picture, but Liam Smith, like I said at the ringside, the eyes of the world are watching Liam tonight. They all think this kid's the weak link. Now, he showed tonight he isn't, and a few of them might have thought about it. It might be bad for us, so they go, ooh, a bit tasty, and we'll have to go somewhere else, but we'll see now what happens. I'm sure Frank will be trying to get Liam that big fight, and Liam's chomping at the bit, that sparring in America with Amir, Chris Van Heerden over there in the wild card. As Evan can say, we have, 13 world champions in this country. Liam Smith's in the top 3, 4 world champions in this country. Top 3 or 4, definitely. You name it, more than that above him. But Liam Smith's in the top 3 or 4 in this country, and he'll prove that.
World class. You're talking about world class level, and he's a world class fighter.
Liam, did you come close to sparring Canelo once?
I meant to
Yeah,
spar both
yeah,
them,
yeah.
Canelo and Cotto, yeah.
Yeah.
Went on the Canelo one. I just had a hands operation, so I couldn't go. That meant to be in San Diego, and then the Cotto one, Callum fought Rocky, so that was in the middle of the thing. It's not like, you know, flying to, you know, Marbella and back, is it? You know, it's 10 hours late, so it's just come at the wrong time. But
So have you physically met Canelo to kind of get an idea of size and stuff? Have you come face to face?
no,
with him?
but Joe and I met him at the press conference where, you know, the sparring got arranged.
Yeah.
And you know, stood with Cotto and
big.
crazy.
No.
He's smart. He's tiny to me. You know, sort of go on my Instagram and have a look at a picture. He's tiny to me, and it was a week before his fight with Daniel Geale. I couldn't believe how small he was.
Yeah.
And
That must have given you quite, as both, I guess, quite a lot of hope.
Yeah,
Not hope,
exactly,
but
yeah.
no,
boost.
yeah, definitely. He's big. If you look at him beside Cotto, he's big
Yeah.
height-wise. I think the thing with Liam, like in England, in the gyms, Liam's known in the gyms over America from the times we've gone over there and sparring, and they know. So it's not they're taking a punt. They've got informed sources over there, whether it be in the wild card or is at Goosen's gym or whatever. They know about the kid, so they're a little bit, I'd assume, anyway, thinking, well, bit of a risk this, do you understand? Where usually they'd pick a kid and they don't know nothing about him and take a gamble, but I think them being hesitant shows the respect that they have for Liam Smith over there.
So that's the plan. So watch this space, and hopefully we can give you some news in the next week or so.
I'll see you in Vegas, Dave, if it happens.
See me as well.